Hello. So, starting with the first learning objective, going to be focusing on sorting and filtering. I'm going to do two videos. The first is going to focus on sorting, while the second is going to be on filtering. So, I'm going to sort on Google Sheets and on Excel, as well as filter on Google Sheet and Excel. So, to begin, we have to kind of set the scene because I will be sorting and filtering the data set. So, kind of want to set the scene for you by explaining how we got to the data set so everything is not looking foreign to you in terms of trying to make head or tail out of it. So let's say the data sets that we are trying to create is the healthcare insurance coverage. And for this data set, the data that was collected, or in this case, created, was from asking a research question. And the research question was, in Hammond, what is the socioeconomic distribution of adequate healthcare insurance? So that is the question. To be able to collect, in order to have this data set help in answering this question, we have to be collecting the relevant variables for that. Because if we collect irrelevant variables, it's not going to help us in answering the question. So we have to come up, decide on what variables are relevant to this question. So we're going to start by deciding on the variables that are related to socioeconomic factors, and then the variables that are related to adequate healthcare insurance. So starting with the socioeconomic factors, we have a couple. There are more. We have annual income, race, gender, age group, and highest level of education. These are not the only socioeconomic factors that there are. I'm just picking this five for this exercise, just to let you guys know. Then we then have adequate healthcare insurance. Some of the variables that kind of fit in with this is insurance status, type of insurance, whether the people consider that their insurance gives them adequate coverage, and what is their annual average amount of money that they spend out of pocket on medical care. So just to explain to you guys what OOP, or out of pocket, means. When you use healthcare service in the US, it happens in all the world, but let me just focus on the US. When you use healthcare services in the US, there may be a portion of the healthcare cost that you pay, meaning the one that is not covered by the insurance. Sometimes it is in co-payments, sometimes it is in co-insurance. So those two would go into being out of pocket payment. And if you don't have any insurance, all your healthcare expenses will be paid out of pocket because you don't have anybody who is sharing the cost of healthcare with you. So that becomes an out of pocket payment for you. So be collecting data on that. And then lastly, going to collect, information for a percentage of annual income that is spent out of pocket. So this variable will be calculated rather than collected. Now, if you're wondering why calculate it, since instead of collecting it, the reason is, imagine that this is a data, you're going out in the field and you're actually asking people for this information. If you ask someone what is the percentage of your annual income that you're spending out of pocket, it is very unlikely that the person would know, because generally on your day-to-day life, you're not making that calculation over your head. So the data analyst will be able to get that information because they have information on your annual income and have information on the average out-of-pocket payment. So it's going to be possible to calculate this last variable because there's enough information from the ones that were collected to be able to make that calculation. So that's that with the data set. So let's just go straight into working on the data. Just a minute. Let me share the screen with that so that you guys see it. Right, there we go. Just a minute. I just want to be sure I have the right screen. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, I have the right screen. All right. Sharing it. Okay, so this is the data sets that I'm using for this. Remember, I said that we've made selection in terms of the variables, and say that let's say this was a question. This was actually a questionnaire that I was designing to get this information. Sometimes you will have to find yourself asking the question. The type of question you ask helps you in determining how the information or how the value will be given to you. For instance, if you ask question on age group, you're going to be getting ranges like this. But if you ask question of what is your age, you're going to get numerical values. This is not a numerical value. This is a categorical value, just to clarify that. So let's say that for the annual income, the question was approximate your annual income, and race is how would you describe your race. Gender will be what gender do you self-identify as. Age group is as at your last birthday, what is your age group. Highest level of education would be what is the highest level of education you attained. And let's go with that. And insurance coverage would be, do you have health insurance? Type of insurance will be, what type of insurance do you have? And then on average, approximate the amounts you spend out of pockets on medical costs in the last year. And then finally, you have this last one that you get to calculate. So the type of question you ask, the phrasing of your question determines the kind of information that you'll be getting for your values. The reason I'm saying this is because you will be asked to create a data set for this module, and you want to think about the kind of question that you're asking that will help you in filling up your variables. So let's start. So to start sorting in Google Sheets, the thing to do is, before we start, let us do the calculation that we need to do for the percentage out of pocket payment stuff. So what I want to calculate, remember, I want to calculate the percentage of this amount of money or regarding out of this. So it's basically this divided by this. So that is the information I'm trying to get, and finding that in terms of percentage. So to do first is I want to get, because I want this information to be in percentage, I'm going to start by formatting it in such a way that I'm telling Google Sheet to please give me this information in percentage. So I go to format over here and go to number and select percent. So now Google Sheets is knowing that information that I want here, I want it to come out in percentage. So let's do the calculation. So you remember you use the equal sign, and then you put the formula that says divide. And this is the first one that we want, J2, and we're dividing it by this, and equal to, and that's it. So this is 0.29%. Now to get the value for the rest of the rows, you just have to drag down. So that gives you the value for that. So now let's go get into the sorting. So to sort, you're going to select there are two ways you could sort. You could use this to select everything, or you could just, manually select it. It is easier to just select everything. It's not going to affect your sorting because it's only going to be the cells that have information in it that is going to be sorted. The empty ones are going to be ignored, so you don't have to worry about, selecting everything is going to mean you get confusing table. So now we've selected everything. We'll go to data, this bit here. And when we go to data, there are two options for the data. You have sort sheet and then you have sort range. So I don't use sort sheets because I have not, in all the times that I've tried to use it, I haven't been able to make a head or tail out of it. So I don't use that. So I use sort range for that. And then for the sort range, you have an option to sort range column A, either to sort A to Z, or you're sorting Z to A. So that is the option. But you can see that column A here is participant ID. Let's say it's not participant ID. I want it to sort. I want it to sort maybe race. Then using this, sorry, I have to select everything again. Then using the any of these two options is not going to work for me. I have to use a function that is more that is going to give me an opportunity to select the right column that I want it to sort, and that would be this one. Let's say it's advanced sorts, advanced range sorting option. So I will click on that. So this is how that looks in terms of it, and my table has a header, all the places that says participant ID, income, and all the rest of it. So I'm going to select it as data has headline, header row. So I've selected that. And let's say I want to sort it by race. I'm interested in sorting this data set by race because I want it to show me all the information based off on race. I'm interested in knowing the information based on race. I can choose whether I want it to start with A or I want it to start with Z, meaning if it's A, then the earliest alphabets, or the Z, the latest. So I start with race and I will sort it as race. So now I sort it by race. You can see that the column that has race has been sorted out, whereby Asian starts first, and then you have the black, and then you have multiracial, and then finally you have white, because it sorted it A to Z. That's how we sorted it. Now, you can sort more than one column. You may decide, I want to sort this be like, now I've known what is happening with race. I want to know what is happening with race with gender within race. I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's go back to sorting once again. So we go to data, we see sort, advanced sort. This really go back and sorry, header. Did you notice this? If you don't put this, it just selects it based off on the column, the default one. But once you select, it has a header, it just really goes it with what it says that you need. So remember, race was our first point of interest, and then the second one is gender. I want to see what's happening with gender. I'm interested in that. Let's say that I want to see what's happening with gender, and I want to see what's happening with insurance coverage. So I will select insurance coverage and now tell it to sort. Now, here is what you will notice. The first sorting looks at race. It sorts race, everything A to Z. Everything is all sorted. And then I told it to sort gender. You will see that within gender, it first sorts Asian female, because F comes before male. That comes before M, so it's going to sort it by female first, and then it sorts it by male, and then it sorts it by non-binary. So within Asian, which is the race category option that I was interested in, it now first of all sorts it by gender. Now I told it to sort it within gender, to sort it by health insurance coverage. So it's going to sort no first before yes with the female, no before yes with the male. And because there was only one non-binary Asian, it's just going to have a no, since there's no other options. So it's just going to have an. So you can see, let me select this so that maybe you can see what I mean. Let me color that a little bit. Let's say I color this color, and then within gender, I'm just going to focus on Asian first. Within gender, and let's put it as this, and then within age group, let's put that as this. So you can see that because of the way we organize the sorting, gender is more or less like a subset of race, and age group becomes a subset of gender in the way that it's kind of organized it. So that helps you in understanding the order by which sorting is done. So that is that for sorting in Google Sheets. Let me show you guys how you sort in Excel. Just a quick minute. Let's go to Excel sheets. Right. So this is Excel. I'm using the same data sets that I used in Google Sheets, and Excel has a slightly different way of sorting. But first, before sorting this, let me just go ahead and do the calculation for Excel. So still the same formula. I need to go with format cell, and I tell it to give me a percentage, and decimal is fine. I can do decimal place, so that does that. Now to do the calculation in Excel, Excel is a little bit different in terms of the formula. So it's going to be, I want it to divide this by this one, and that's it. So it's a little in terms of the function, it's a little different from how it is with Google Sheets, but it still gives you the same results. And then we drag all the way down. Let's keep dragging down and keep dragging down, and all done. So all dragged down, and that's that. Now to sort, we go back to home to sort, and with the sorting, this is the option when it comes to Excel. You choose, it has sort and filter, so let us click on that, and then we go to custom sorts. That's how that works with Excel. You don't need to select everything like I did with Google Sheets to be able to get the function that allows me to sort range. So this Excel just tells you to custom sort, and just the same way that I did, add level. Excel calls it levels. So you just add the levels and insurance coverage, and it's all in A to Z. Okay, and it is sorted. So everything is now sorted the same way that this happened with Google Sheets. Let me color the Excel so that you see what I mean. The same way that it did it with Google Sheets, you also do that with Excel. So, sorry. Oh, I just saw that I colored the wrong. I highlighted the wrong column with a Google Sheet. Sorry, my apologies. But yeah, so that is how it will look. Let me make the corrections for Google Sheets so that maybe you don't get confused with that. When I'm done with Excel, I'm going to make the correction with Google Sheet. But yeah, this is very, very similar with the way that it looks in Google Sheet as well. Let me share that of Google Sheets. So share it, and coverage, healthcare coverage, and I will select that, and that works. So yeah, so that's very, very similar in the way you sort and in Google Sheets and the way that you sort in Excel. Do have a lovely day. Bye.